Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So I've been enjoying watching old boxing clips on TV, actually I think on YouTube. I love to watch the old Muhammad Ali fights. I was too young to really get tuned into him when he was in his prime. I got to see a couple replayed later, but back then it was like not always on TV and cost prohibitive and all of that kind of mess. So I'm catching up on a lost childhood, if you will. And it's got me really thinking about things. I was watching one of the fights recently, and you know, Muhammad Ali had these ring men. They were the guys who were in his corner, who would put the stool down and who would talk to him and coach him. But he had to go in there and fight himself. You know, it was him versus Smoking Joe Frazier. And he didn't really have he couldn't send his ring man in there to do the fighting for him. That was in my mind because I was thinking through some of my favorite passages in the Bible. And I came across Psalm 18, verse 6. And Psalm 18, verse 6 says, "In my distress, I called upon the Lord, Adonai, Hashem, Jehovah. I called upon the Lord. I called up to my God for help. From his temple, he heard my voice," the psalmist says, "and my cry reached to his ears." I thought, I like this. I like this because it's got God in my corner. And Muhammad Ali might go back to his corner and have Angelo Dundee or someone there, but I got God in my corner. And then I thought, well, actually, it's a little different than that. God's not just in my corner. God's going out to do the fighting. Now, he doesn't let me stick in the corner myself and just watch. I don't all of a sudden climb over the ropes and become a spectator. God works through me and in me, but he works. His battle, his victory is what's going on. And the psalmist sees this, see? So the psalmist says, "In my distress, I called out to the Lord. I called out to my God for help, and he heard me from his temple." And then the psalmist says, "Then the earth reeled and rocked. The foundations of the mountains trembled and quaked." I love that, because God was angry. God got angry on my behalf. God stepped in and God did something about it. God worked through it. I called to him for help, and I'm telling you, even the mountains were scared because God was angry. It says, smoke went up from his nostrils, devouring fire from his mouth. Glowing coals flamed forth from him. He bowed the heavens. He came down. Thick darkness under his feet. It sounds like a storm, like this horrible storm coming down. He rides on a cherub and he flies down, comes swiftly on the wings of the wind. I just love this vivid description. See, God's not just in your corner. God's going out to lead the way, to fight the battle. That's great. So we can go with him, but we never want to go without him. And I'm thinking about that as one of my passages that I like this year, because right now, because this is our God. He's got a knockout punch that makes Muhammad Ali look like an eclair. If he's got the mountains afraid of him, what do you and I have to fear with God on our side? Answer, absolutely nothing. And that's your video thought for the day. I'll talk to you more tomorrow.